Good morning everybody, welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. I hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video right here on the Pyth network. It's been a while since I covered this, but obviously since the news yesterday, but also since the price action we've seen subsequently, I had to cover it. I had to give you my thoughts. We are at a major resistance level right now, which you can clearly see on the chart right here, around 25 cents. I think we have a chance to break above that, but we are at a tricky level, right? Because we're still under that level. We have broken above, and by the way, Binance price feeds are down right now, so this is not the actual price, but I think the actual price is around these levels, so we can proceed. But we have been able to break above the yearly rolling VWAP on certain time frames, which is a very, very important level, and there has been a huge amount of momentum. I mean, I showed you briefly right here. But Pyth at this point of time has a 24-hour volume of $4 billion, which is more than Chainlink, more than Dogecoin, more than Athena, more than Hyperliquid and Athena combined, right? So that's a lot, and you should not ignore that. And then outside of that, I think fundamentally, one of the key reasons why we've been able to get a move like this is not only the news that we had, right? Because Pyth network scored a US government deal to put GDP data on chain. That's all fine, right? And that's great. But Chainlink, same thing. And then Pyth network is probably going to do that for Solana, right? Because Pyth network is a Solana-based project. That's all great, but I think that this news really made people realize that Pyth was relatively undervalued. Pyth network is the biggest oracle and a working oracle and working product for Solana, so it's quite similar to Chainlink, right? And Chainlink has done extremely well in the last last couple of months, I would argue. And then more recently, we have seen that, first of all, Pyth really did not see any major move in 2025. We've been quite bearish in 2025. While, first of all, Chainlink has been doing great, so that creates a divergence, all right? You have two relatively similar projects. One is doing great, the other is not. Why not? And then Solana has been doing very well as well in the recent 2 weeks or so. So I think that just wasn't priced in, and I think people were not paying attention to Pyth. And then we also get good news, right? And that good news brings up thoughts for people like, all right, well, why is this valued so low? I mean, Pyth at this point in time, after the move, right, which is an 80% move in the last month, is at a market cap of $1.3 billion compared to Solana's market cap of $115 billion. And then if you take a look at ETH and Chainlink, you have $540 billion, and Chainlink is worth $16 billion. Bit of a divergence there, right? So that's also why fundamentally I think Pyth can still rally up higher. We have some major news coming out. We're seeing some selling off going into that news right now. That makes it tricky, right? We have inflation rate data that will matter. I think there's two main levels you should keep an eye on the higher time frames. And that's first of all, 25 cents. If we're able to break above that again with volume, I think we're going much, much higher. And I know that sounds strange because we have already rallied so much, but I do think both technically and fundamentally there's room for more upsides. And then short term, I would argue the main level to look at is this level right here at 22 cents. If we're unable to stay around that level, I would have to say we found resistance at the yearly rolling VWAP. And then it's more likely we're going to fill some of the imbalances which we are leaving down into 20 cents, but most likely down into that level around 17.5 cents. At this point of time, given the uncertainty with the news and given the resistance level that we're at, I would say it's a little bit more likely that we'll drop down towards 17.5 cents in that area, find support there, and that from there we will have a better chance to actually break out. But that is something I will also still keep you updated on afterwards. But those are my thoughts for now. All right, so hopefully that helps. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend in advance, and bye.